So, what are the re-tear rates like after rotator cuff repair? So, what is a re-tear? So, essentially, if you have rotator cuff repair surgery, then after the surgery, at some point following the surgery, most tears are happening somewhere between 0 and 6 months after you have a rotator cuff repair. If you have the tendon partially tear again, or fully tear again, or fail in the sense that maybe it never took in the first place, they would call that a re-tear or a failure, right? And we got some research to show that these re-tear rates are somewhere between 11% and up to 94% of all rotator cuff repairs will re-tear, which is kind of crazy. The overall rate is going to be around 17% at 6 months. The majority of folks that are going to re-tear, they will re-tear within the first 6 months. So probably is capturing most of the folks that do re-tear, right? And the thing is, the larger the tear, right, the more likelihood there is that you're going to re-tear over the course of time. So only 5% of partial thickness tears will re-tear. 27% of full thickness tears will re-tear. And the large, massive retractive tears are really the ones that are likely to fail again in the future. Okay. The other piece about rotator cuff repair rehabilitation that's kind of funky is that if you have a repair and afterwards it re-tears, chances are you're still going to have a good outcome, right? So I'll say it again because it's a little bit confusing. Let's say you have two patients, right? They both get rotator cuff repair surgery. At the 6 month mark, one person re-tears and the other person doesn't. And neither of them have any sort of insight into whether or not the repair is actually, working at this point. They're going to have a similar outcome generally. Okay. And this is going to kind of depend on the study that you read. But what's really interesting about these is that once you repair a rotator cuff, even if it does re-tear, chances are you're still going to have an improved outcome over not doing any repair whatsoever. If you guys are liking what you're listening to right now and you want to continue with the rolling, I have another video for you. It's called When Do Rotator Cuff Repairs Fail? So unfortunately, a chunk of these rotator cuff repair surgeries will fail, right? And it's important as physical therapists to know when these are actually occurring so we can be a little bit more cautious during this time period. So I'll leave a link above my head and go ahead and learn a little bit more about when rotator cuff repairs fail after surgery.